Hi guys, welcome back to the Essex Rotary channel. In this week's episode, we're going to be showing you how to find top dead centre and set your timing marks on the front pulley of an FB. That's right, we're going old school. Before we get out to the car, if you've got an old car, whether it's be FC, FB for instance, something that hasn't got or has got the old style little notches on the front pulley, that gives you your timing marks. The problem is, if they've disappeared and you can't find them, checking your ignition timing and the various other things that you really need to do to set it up, it can be a bit of a nightmare. So we're going to show you a pretty simple way to get you pretty close, or at least in the ballpark, with regards to finding the marks. And if they're not there, we've got some simple measurements that hopefully you can do to set them and get them as close as you can under the circumstances. With all that said, let's get out to the car and we'll show you what's what. So in order for us to find top dead centre on a rotary engine, we need to remove the front two plugs, both the leading and the trailing. So we're going to go ahead and do that. With those out, what we're going to do is use a thin screwdriver, a welding rod or something like that we can actually push through the plug holes. With them, so we can push through the plug holes and actually press up against or place up against the face of the combustion face of the rotor. So the basic principle with top dead centre on a rotary engine is the same kind of story as it would be for a piston engine, but we don't have pistons. So we have to move the front rotor so it's essentially flat up against the face, or the spark plug side face of the actual engine. Then we can use a tool, which hopefully we're going to use a screwdriver in this case, just to touch, and then we can just rock the engine back and forward until we find a point where the screwdriver actually touches the face of the rotor. The screwdriver goes into the same distance on both the front and the rear, touching the face of the rotor. Once we've done that, we know we've got top dead centre on the leading, then we can roughly work out where the trailing is. So yeah, let's get on with that, I'm guessing. So we're using a screwdriver that will actually go through the plug ports. What I normally do is just measure it roughly against the side of the engine block. And with that, we can then rotate the engine slightly. It's essentially trial and error. So we're going to check, move it until we're happy. See on the FB we can turn it over on the crank. Some other engines you may have to use a socket and a ratchet on, say, the alternator pulley for instance. Okay, I sound pretty happy with that. So that should be top dead centre on the front rotor. So from there we can then move to actually locating the timing mark on the pulley. On an FB there should be a dent in the actual pulley itself. So we've moved from the engine block over to the front pulley. On the FB you can see just here we've got the pointer, and there should be some marks on the pulley here somewhere which will actually identify both the leading and the trailing. So you can see there's no paint marks left. What we're going to do, we're going to clean this up, see if we can find them. The test with the probe in the plug port's actually given us a rough idea of where we need to go. So we're going to find those, clean them up, mark them with, normally we'll use a red and a yellow dab of paint once we've found the grooves, which is sort of the stock way of marking them. Once we've done that, it's dried, we can then look at setting the ignition time. Okay, so we're about half hour, 40 minutes after the previous shot. We've had to remove the fan because we've also had to take the belt out to get a little bit more access in there to clean the actual pulley face up. Once we've done that, the white mark, which is not a factory mark, excuse the bug, The white mark is the true top dead centre which we'd found using the technique, or as close to. After we'd cleaned the face of the pulley up, you can see it's quite shiny now in that area. We'd actually managed to find the original mark for the leading, which we've then marked as, there was a small dent in there, which we've then marked with some yellow paint, which would then reference the manual if you're looking to check the timing. From there, we've then moved back about 15 millimeters using a pair of calipers. I've referenced this on a couple of other car FBs we've got here. So 15 mil in a straight line using a set of calipers. From there to find the actual red mark, which is the trailing timing mark. The distance between the white and the yellow mark, just in case you can't find any marks at all, the distance from here, so this white mark to the yellow mark, is about 16 millimeters. So that should, with a bit of luck, get you in the ballpark. The other thing we've obviously done is marked and cleaned and marked the timing pointer up, which is obviously now in white. With that all done, we should be good to reassemble everything and start checking the timing and the tune. This can be done on a FB or FC. Obviously the FDs have got a completely different setup. Bear in mind the measurements I've given you are on an FB front main pulley. FC ones may vary, obviously depending on the diameter, but the principle's the same to find the true top dead centre. This is what we essentially use to measure the distance between the various timing points. Essentially a bit tight, obviously hence why we had to remove the fan. But by finding the yellow mark, which was the leading one, we were then able to transfer a mark across. Obviously put a small dent in there so it's easy to find in future, the red mark, and then obviously paint it with some red paint. We'll get this reassembled. With the timing mark set, we've now been able to hook up the timing light, our great piece of equipment these days, a wide band air fuel ratio gauge in the exhaust, vacuum gauge, seen up the top there, and the various other bits and bobs, and actually be able to set the timing, idle speed, idle fuel, so essentially the idle mixture, the various other bits. That all kind of comes down to the ability to be able to find and mark the timing marks on the crank. So with the timing light, should be able to save it. There we go. So it comes in, it's on the yellow for the leading, you can see the red and the trailing timing just at the back there. Okay guys, so there you have it. Pretty simple. Hopefully the measurements we've given you, bear in mind it's on an FB front pulley. So the measurements may vary slightly if you're looking at a front pulley on an FC and you're looking to obviously measure the timing marks in the same fashion that we obviously described. But at least with the technique we've shown you, you should be able to find top dead centre pretty simple, and from there obviously work that out to give you the correct kind of positioning for both your leading and trailing timing marks. Yeah, we've got a little bit, well, not weird, but we've got a bit old school, I suppose, breaking out the timing light and stuff like that. I know a lot of people, it's a tool from a bygone era. But yeah, with all that said, hopefully you've got some information from it that will enable you to go away and set up your timing marks on your engine. With the age of the vehicles, we're seeing it quite often that they've pretty much all rusted away and we're having to actually remark the pulleys. With that said, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching. I think we've actually just gone over the 2,000 subscriber mark, so thank you very much guys, it's appreciated. Keep smashing the subscribe button, leave your comments down below. If you've got any questions, anything you think we may have missed that we may be able to follow up on a future video. Yeah, other than that, other than that, there's the usual stuff. You'll be able to find us online at essexrotary.co.uk, which is our main website. If you need to order any parts, you'll find them at essexrotarystore.com. You can also find us on Facebook at Essex Rotary Specialists, and on Twitter and Instagram, which is at Essex Rotary. With that all said, thank you very much for with that all said, thank you very much for watching, guys. We'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Right, before we go, I just want to mention we've released a brand new service on the website, a Premix monthly subscription service, where you'll get Premix at the beginning of each month, month in, month out. If you want more information, check out our website. Subscribe.